Furina is the most broken character ever, and today I'll walk you through how to build her perfectly. I'll tell you which weapons you should use, which artifact set is the best for her, and much more. So any good build starts with a good weapon, and Furina has a lot of good weapons. So I have sorted all of her weapons in a tier list format, and at the top of S tier is her signature Splendor of Tranquil Waters. This weapon has a crap ton of crit damage, and the passive increases elemental skill damage by 24% when her HP increases or decreases, and when teammates HP increases or decreases, her max HP will be increased by 28%, and she scales with HP, so getting more HP is always good. So her signature weapon will be her best damaging weapon, but it does not have energy recharge, so you will need a lot of energy recharge from artifacts to have her burst uptime. And her best free-to-play weapon is the Festering Desire. It has a good amount of energy recharge, and its passive is incredibly good for Furina. It increases elemental skill damage by 32% and elemental skill crit rate by 12%. But this is a very old event weapon, so majority of players won't have this. And her next S tier weapon is the Primordial Jade Cutter. It has very high crit rate and increases max HP by 20% with the passive. A very good stat stick for Furina. Next are the A tier weapons, and at the top is the Key of Kajnisut. This sword gives a total of 86.2% HP combined. Additionally, when elemental skill hits enemies, increases elemental mastery by 0.12% of max HP up to 3 stacks, and upon reaching 3 stacks or whenever the third stack's duration is refreshed, increases elemental mastery of all the party members by 0.2% of max HP for freaking 20 seconds. Now assuming your Furina has 60,000 HP, this weapon will give your Furina 336 elemental mastery and 120 elemental mastery to all the teammates. So this weapon is the best weapon for any reaction based team that needs high elemental mastery. Next are Uraku Misugiri and Light of Foliar Incision. Both are solid stat sticks with tons of crit damage, while Uraku is slightly better because of its passive that increases elemental skill damage by 24%. Next is the Battle Pass weapon Wolf Fang. It has good crit rate and its passive is also decent. It increases elemental skill and burst damage and their crit rate when you deal damage. So at Refinement 5, Wolf Fang is comparable to a Refinement 5 Festering Desire. Last are the Ferryman and the Favonius Sword. Both are there just for the massive energy recharge they provide, and the Ferryman Sword gives 16% crit rate to the elemental skill, and it is completely free, but you have to go through the torturous process of fishing to get this weapon. B tier weapons are all good stat sticks for her. Absolution and Mistsplitter gives Furina good amount of crit damage, while the Haran Gopaku Futsu gives her crit rate and elemental damage bonus. And C tier weapons are just for the energy recharge, while the Sapwood Blade can give a little bit of elemental mastery to help in Dendro teams, while the Amenoma Kageuchi is a craftable weapon, and the Blackcliff Sword is a free-to-play stat stick in case you don't have anything else. And D tier weapons are just bad. Skyward Blade gives energy recharge, but that's all, and this thing has HP percent. As for artifacts, Furina has one absolutely best set, and it is the Golden Troop. This set gives a lot of elemental skill damage to Furina, up to 70% if she is not on the field, which is perfect for her as she is always tucked in the back, and any of the 2-piece HP percent, energy recharge and hydro damage bonus sets will work, but try getting a full set of Golden Troop. It is way better than any of the mix and match setup, and Marakshusa Hunter becomes her best artifact set if you have Furina's C6, where she becomes sort of a quick swap DPS, but from C0 to C5, Golden Troop is her best set. And as for the artifact stats, this is also very straightforward. She wants HP percent Sands, HP percent Goblet and crit rate or crit damage Circlet. But you can also go for energy recharge Sands if you are using a HP percent weapon, and for the Goblet, HP percent and hydro damage bonus are almost equal, but Furina gets a lot of damage bonus from external sources. So going for a HP percent Goblet will be generally better, but always go for the stat that has better substats, and for substats, prioritize energy recharge, then crit rate and damage, then HP percent and flat HP. The most important stat for Furina is energy recharge, and you will need a lot of energy recharge to have her burst up all the time, and Furina can need as little as 110 energy recharge up to 200% energy recharge depending on your team. So I would recommend you to have at least 150 to 170% energy recharge on her and run at least one character with Favonius weapon on the team. And for reference, this is my Furina build. And now that we know how to build her, let's quickly recap her kit. The most important part of Furina's kit is her elemental burst. After using her elemental burst, Furina will do hydro damage to nearby enemies based on her max HP, and she will enter universal revelry state indicated by the bubbles around the screen, and this state lasts for 18 seconds. During this time, when any party member's HP increases or decreases, one fanfare point will be granted to Furina for each percentage point of their max HP by which their HP changes, and at the same time, Furina will increase the damage dealt and incoming healing bonus of all the party members based on the amount of fanfare she has. And when the duration ends, all fanfare points will be cleared. And the maximum number of fanfare points that she can hold is 300. So at level 10 elemental burst, Furina will grant a total of 75% damage increase and 30% healing bonus at max fanfare points. And the cooldown of this elemental burst is 15 seconds and the energy cost is relatively low at 60 energy. So to max out Furina's fanfares quickly, you will need a good healer who can heal the entire team at once, but Furina also contributes in fanfare generation with her elemental skill. After using her skill, she will summon either the salon members or the singer of many waters based on her current Archie alignment. Furina's current Archie alignment is indicated by her outfit and hairstyle, and you can switch between her Archie alignment by using her charge attack. When Furina is Uxia aligned, she will summon 3 salon members who will attack nearby enemies at certain intervals based on Furina's max HP, prioritizing the target of the active character. And when they attack, if your characters have more than 50% HP, the salon members will increase their damage dealt based on the number of such characters, and they will consume the said character's HP. So if 4 characters are present with more than 50% HP, the member's attack will deal up to 40% increased damage, and this skill generates 1 energy particle every 2 to 3 seconds. And when Furina is Numa aligned, she will summon Singer of Many Waters who will heal nearby active character based on Furina's max HP at certain intervals, and in co-op, it heals all teammates at the same time. Furina's elemental skill lasts for 30 seconds with 20 seconds cooldown, but the salon members and the Singer of Many Water shares the same duration, and when Furina uses her charge attack to change the Archie alignment, the new guest will inherit the remaining duration. Also, while the salon member or the Singer of Many Water is on the field, Furina can move on water surface. Last is Furina's normal attacks. She performs 4 consecutive strikes that deal physical damage, and her charge attack consumes 20 stamina and does physical damage to nearby enemies and changes her Archie alignment. And at certain intervals, when Furina's normal attacks hit, a Spirit Breath Thorn or a Surging Blade will descend based on her current Archie alignment, dealing Numa or Uxia aligned hydro damage. And when Furina takes the field, her starting Archie alignment will be Uxia. Next are Furina's passive talents that are very important. First is the Sea is My Stage. It decreases the Xenochromatic Fontever Everend's ability cooldown by 30%. Next is Endless Waltz. When the active character in your party receives healing, if the source of the healing is not Furina and the healing overflows, then Furina will heal nearby party members by 2% of her max HP once every 2 seconds for the next 4 seconds. And lastly, her most important passive talent, Unheard Confession. Every 1000 points of Furina's max HP can buff her elemental skill in the following ways. It will increase the salon member's damage dealt by 0.7% up to a maximum of 28%, and it will decrease the Singer of Many Waters healing interval by 0.4 seconds up to a maximum of 16%. So Furina's Elemental Burst is one of the best buffing abilities in the entire game, so it is the most important thing to level up as high as you can. Then her Elemental skill, which is equally valuable, and her normal attacks are almost never used at C0, but at C6, now that's a completely different story. And when we are talking about constellations, let's take a look at her constellations. Furina has some of the best early constellations. Her C1 is very good as it grants her 150 fanfare points immediately after casting her burst. Additionally, increases fanfare limit by 100. Her C2 is in my opinion her best constellation. With C2, Furina's fanfare gain will be increased by 250%, and each point of fanfare above the maximum limit will increase Furina's max HP by 0.35% up to a maximum of 40%, which will increase her damage even more, and fanfare points will also generate very quickly. So if you want to go for a constellations, then C2 is a good stopping point. Her C3 and C5 are elemental burst and skill level up respectively. C4 helps her with energy generation, so after salon members hit enemies or the Singer of Many Water heals someone, Furina will restore 4 energy, and this can occur every 5 seconds, so this will mediate some of her energy issues. And at C6, Furina becomes a pseudo DPS, so this long essay translates to, after using her elemental skill, she will gain center of attention for 10 seconds, and throughout this duration, her normal charge and plunging attacks will gain hydro infusion and damage increase based on 18% of her max HP. Additionally, she will trigger different effects based on her Archie alignment. So when she is Uxia aligned, every 1 second, all nearby characters in the party will be healed by 4% of Furina's max HP for a duration of 2.9 seconds, and triggering this effect again will extend its duration. And when she is Numa aligned, Furina's normal, charge or plunging attacks ground impact damage will be further increased by an amount equivalent to 25% of Furina's max HP. And when any of these attacks hit an opponent, all characters in the party will consume 1% of their current HP. So at C6, Furina becomes a very good DPS along with a good support, and with the new playstyle, her rotation also changes at C6, and running Furina as your sole DPS is not ideal as this infusion only lasts for 10 seconds and her elemental skills duration animation is 20 seconds, so there will be a 10 seconds downtime to this effect, so running another DPS alongside Furina will be better. And as for Furina's teams, well, you can use Furina with anyone and she will make that team shine, but the best characters to pair with Furina will be healers, specifically team-wide healers, and these are the best healers to quickly max out fanfare. Baizu, Jean and Shenyun are the best healers for Furina as they can heal the entire team with their elemental skill and elemental burst respectively, and Jean's field from her elemental burst also heals the active character periodically, and Baizu has his shield for added survivability and dendro application, but Shenyun is by far the best one as she not only provides insane burst healing and continuous healing afterwards, she gives everyone the ability to plunge and do increased plunging damage. And if you pair these two with Xiao, who already has HP draining built into his kit with C6 Faruzan, then you will have quite the tall Xiao. And the best 4-star off-field healer is Charlotte. This journalist is a master healer. Her elemental burst heals a ton. Just take a look at this healing from a level 20 Charlotte. And she is very good in Nivelate Furina teams as her skill marks the enemies like Nahida's skill and applies cryo from time to time, so you can permafreeze enemies, so that is why she is the best 4-star burst healer. Kokomi is also a solid on-field healer. She can heal off-field with her jellyfish, but having her on-field dealing damage with her elemental burst and healing the entire team is much better, especially if you run a mono-hydro team with Yelan and Kazuha. And other healers like Yao Yao, Mika and Sayu are also good. Yao Yao has good dendro application and her burst is also a very potent heal, and Sayu's burst is also a good source of healing, but it only heals if your character's HP is less than 70%, but this is not an issue if you have her C1. And single target healers like Diona, Barbara, Cookie and Chi-Chi are not very good as they will not be able to generate fanfares as quickly and you have to swap to other characters to heal them, although Barbara's elemental burst heals the entire team, but its cost is very high. So the best out of all of this will be Cookie because she loses a large chunk of her HP when she uses her skill that heals the active character afterwards, and most of the time you will run Cookie in a Hyper Bloom or Quick Bloom team, and there you will have either Baizu or Yao Yao who can already heal for a good amount, or if you run Nahida as your dendro applicator, then you can use the prototype Amber on her for more healing. And Quick Bloom teams are very powerful with Furina because Furina's hydro application is not very fast, so it will not produce as many dendro cores, but in return she will not deplete the quicken aura as quickly and you will be able to trigger more spread or aggravate reactions. And I haven't mentioned Bennett because he is broken even with his limited healing, and the amount of attack boost he gives cannot be neglected, but most Furina teams don't use Bennett, so he will be available for your other team in the Spiral Abyss. And lastly, self healers such as Nuvelet, Ryasley, Clorend are all exceptionally good with Furina, and Nuvelet Furina team is by far one of the strongest team in the game even at C0, and if I start to tell you each and every of Furina's teams, then this video will be an hour long. So here are some of the best Furina teams. So Furina is the most versatile and downright broken character to ever exist with exceptionally good paid and free to play weapons, and it wouldn't be wrong if you call Furina the best character in Genshin Impact. And if you enjoyed this video, then consider subscribing the channel and I'll see you next time.